Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second episode of the Raya and Black Steph podcast.
Yeah.
How you doing, bro?
I'm better.
As you guys can see, we have a friend of the channel, a friend of the company, a friend of the show.
A friend of music.
A friend of music.
Yeah.
The controversial Nota.
The authority.
Nota, you here with your dad, bro. Thank you for visiting us, pa.
Thank you very much. Okay. Glad to be here too.
For sure. Can you please tell us what just the role that your dad has played in your life?
Yeah. Well, I think other than just being like a really great father, just he's always been present, in my life. He's always been a role model to me since I was a very young child. Like when I was a baby or very small, I used to wear his shoes and then give my little brother my shoes to wear. I used to wear his suits. I used to wear everything. And then when he'd walk in the mall, I would also jump so that I could match his strides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Those are the things that, I've always looked up to. He took very good care of our grandmother, which me and my siblings' grandmother, his mom. You know what I mean? And me, I've always taken good care of my mom as well, just like I saw him take care of his mom. And just being a good human being, my dad is, possibly, the greatest human being I know. Like, one person I look up to, and sometimes I wish he could be the father to many other kids who I see, might have needed a father figure. And he is to many, you know what I mean? Not just my cousins, not just, but just many people, look at him as a father and as a father figure. And yeah, am I missing anything?
Yeah, you have spoken about all that I know of. And then, of course, yes, there are many things. So, but you are doing quite well.
Before we start on the show, can I just ask you, how has it been being Nota's dad and seeing him coming up and people talking about him online and everything, and
Much of the online I don't know, but most of the things that are very interesting, there are a lot. He's my little boy that I used to take to school every day.
Yeah.
One particular day, I drove from the house. I thought I'm with him in the car. I went to his school. I opened the door, hoping to drop him off. He wasn't there. Because I was used of driving him every day.
Yeah.
On that particular day, I felt I was driving him too.
But he wasn't there.
He wasn't there because he was not at school on that particular day. So there are many things. Many things that are.
How did you feel about him dropping? Because I know that he dropped out of varsity. Were you supportive of that move?
There's one thing that I always wanted. A clever child, he could do anything. I wanted him to learn more and do more than what I could do because I didn't have the opportunity. While I was still young, I didn't even have a book to write on. I used to write on my thigh. They would correct it. I would get 100% of whatever it was. Then they would give me a book, and the book by then was 3 pennies. 3D is equivalent to 3 cents. Yes.
Wow.
So I wanted him to learn more, to do anything more. I would do whatever it would cost to put him where he's supposed to be. That is, top there, get all the best education. That I would do. I was prepared to do that.
So tell me something. Was he always as confident as he is right now? Because outgoing and spoken out.
Yes, of course, yes. He was very confident. He was.
Would he challenge you some stuff that he felt like they were not right?
Yes. If I could drive, let's say I was taking him to school, and then one day, I don't know what happened, but I didn't stop. The car in front of us just stopped. I drove, I overtook, and then he was very concerned. Whatever could have happened, maybe that person got hurt and so on, because I thought I'm late for school. Then he wasn't happy that I didn't stop for him to go and investigate what the wrong is, why is that particular person stopping. Yes, he was concerned. He was concerned about everything. He wanted people to be happy and live and so forth. Yes.
That was sometime, when was it?
Can you grab the mic?
That was, when was it? Time maybe around 2000 something?
Yeah, something like that.
It was a gray BMW SUV, and the guy had passed out at the steering wheel, and I think his head was on his steering wheel, and he was, I don't know, it looked like maybe he had a heart attack or something like that, and I wanted us to check on him. But it was just down the road from Olivedale Hospital, so yeah, I remember it. I remember that. Yeah, so you were saying?
Because I didn't stop. You were not happy. But I was also concerned that you have to go to school and then I have to be in time for you to get to class. So, yes, there are many things that, we go through and so forth.
I know, that's amazing. Thank you very much for visiting us. So we're going to get into like the usual podcast stuff, First, can we just talk about the Amapiano going to the world? There've been a lot of tweets from Steph London, people in the UK. I mean, you've been an advocate for like the Amapiano sound and everything. How do you feel about everything that's happening?
Well, I'm just glad the local artists are taking the initiative. They're working hard. The work ethic that we're seeing from a whole lot of the guys, seizing the moment, seizing the opportunity. Because, at a certain point in time, it was maybe Scorpion Kings that we saw taking prominence over and above anybody else and over above everybody else. But now, Tuda is, getting celebrated and appreciated as he should be. DJ Storky is also, becoming appreciated as a DJ and as one of the guys who really promoted the Amapiano sound, from the beginning. From the beginning, from word go, when other DJs were reluctant to hop onto this new sound. So he really pushed it, I'm glad that MFR Souls, who to me are the founders of the Amapiano sound. Like those are the first people I heard of that made Amapiano, those are the first people that, to me, they're the pioneers, but pioneers. Yeah. Like I even told them like, yo, you guys need to name your next album Pioneers, and you need to tell the story of how, you guys actually are the ones who founded this whole entire thing. I'm also, delighted to see guys like Aris Madlisa and Zuma, who are rappers.
That's
from
what I was about
Alex.
to say. Can we just talk about those guys actually? Like they are rappers. I think people don't want to give them that credit, but these are actual raps.
You see, the problem that we have with the South African hip hop community is that most of it has been brainwashed to idolize American hip hop. And basically, if we make American hip hop the archetype for all hip hop around the world, then we're going to underappreciate or not appreciate the type of rapping and the type of hip hop and the type of MCing we have on the African continent and in South Africa in particular. And this is something that, I actively, advocated for, for us to change the definition of what a rapper is when I was invited to be on the panel for the MTV Base Hottest MCs. And I pushed.
Which happened in this building, by the way.
Yeah.
In
the studio behind us. Yeah.
Sure.
But anyway, I pushed very hard for them to recognize Busiswa as an MC. Just in the same way as prior to that, I pushed very hard for people to recognize Shoma Josie as an MC. And obviously Shoma Josie was very much in the Tom sound, which was prominent at that time. She's done other sounds as well. Busiswa was also very prominent in the Tom sound.
Yeah.
Is it Tom or Tom?
It's Tom.
Tom.
Yeah.
Tom sound, you know what I mean?
What about vocalistic?
I'm going to get to him. Busiswa being on the hottest MCs list, a lot of people criticize that, but it was very important to have her on there. It was very important to recognize what she has done as a rapper. It was very important to recognize what she has done as also a spoken word artist, which is also a part of hip hop now when you put it on beats, it's rhythm and poetry. It it was very important for us to recognize her as a woman artist. Because a lot of women artists who are rappers are not recognized and are not appreciated, and there's no one to speak for them. And you know, it's just a very terrible thing that in the world that we live in, only men get listened to, because men are the ones who are in power in most of the situations in life, and they only listen to other men. And therefore it had to be me as a man, you know what I mean, or any other man, but it just so happened that it was me that had to stand for this woman and say, no, we need to recognize her, we need to appreciate her, because we are sending a signal down to other young women, other young girls who also follow the same style of making music, of making poetry and rapping on songs, so that they could also feel like they are recognized, so they could feel like there's a space for them to take up. And we also need to ensure that even this year, it's not like a flash in the pan that Busiswa was in there. And I felt very, 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 very hurt when I heard the comments coming from women like Nadia Nakai, who tried to discredit the hottest MCs list, like Miss Cosmo, who was, you know, she was the host of this year's list, you know, basically trying to discredit this list because of Busiswa's inclusion. Saying
it's because they want the hip hop sound.
That's not hip hop. That's American hip hop.
But then
South African hip hop is what South African hip hop.
I'm on your side. I agree.
Listen, one can say that where hip hop originated is in America, so a lot of them copy where it comes from, you know.
Okay, where hip hop originated, is in Africans.
Where?
Those people who originated hip hop that you say originated in
were slaves. Is that what you're trying to say?
Their ancestors were slaves.
Yes,
but they are Africans. The Jamaicans that started this whole entire clash style, battle rapping, MCing stuff, they were Africans. So hip hop is African. But it is African culture. Whether it be African descendant of slaves or Africans on the African continent, they are Africans. And therefore, all Africans, right, can identify with hip hop and its origins.
But can't we say that like Busiswa is a rapper and not a hip hop artist? Like we can say a rapper, but not a hip hop artist.
Yes, but it's about MCs. It's the hottest MCs list. An MC is a rapper. It's not about identifying as a hip hop artist or identifying as an American style hip hop artist. It's still hip hop because the culture is still hip hop. You look at her, she's in Ivy Park, you know, she's wearing her sneakers and whatever else, although she might wear her traditional attire at other times, but she is very much part of the hip hop culture. The poetry, the spoken word, all that stuff, that is hip hop.
And she's so appreciated in the rest of Africa. I don't think people know this, that like
she's very appreciated. She's in Nigeria.
Really well,
She's in Nigeria right now. She just released a song with Naira Marley as well. You know, she also released or collaborated with a Beninian artist called Shirazi. They've got a song called Right Thing, which is like a West African artist who lived in South Africa for a lot of time and gravitated towards the Amapiano sound and added it to his EP called Lost. And like he just did a performance with Sting. You know what I mean? They performed a rendition of Englishman in New York and changed it to African in New York. You know what I mean? So she's collaborated with someone who's just recently collaborated with Sting. She was featured on the Black is King movie as well. And
she needs to be appreciated more,
the
to be
Gift
honest.
album. You know what I mean?
And Rihanna stole her things.
Rihanna, you know, like, dog, we don't appreciate Busiswa
she stole,
enough,
her catchphrase on that DJ Mapolisa and Rude Boys song. So Rude Boys as well, they've worked closely with Busiswa, you know, as well. She's worked with everybody. And she is a really dope MC, the one that needs to be respected. And it was sad for me to see that the people who showed her the most disrespect were fellow women. And that's what really disappointed me.
But then when she if I'm correct, when she came out and said she doesn't consider herself one, for you to stand up and say, yo,
no, you are one.
You are one, but then she doesn't consider one. It's like
she doesn't consider herself a hip hop artist.
Yes,
because she doesn't want to box herself. But she's a rapper. She does
which
rap.
Is why she can
raps
on
well,
Casper's song.
and which is why she can be on the hottest MCs list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she was rapping on that song with Beyonce with Blvck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who does identify as a hip hop artist and
yeah.
is recognized as one of the most prolific female lyricists currently in the world. You know what I mean? So if she's toe to toe with Blvck and they're rapping bar for bar on a song, who are we to say that she's not a rapper?
Yeah, I get you.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what she comes out as or whatever, what she identifies as, we can see what she is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we can also recognize that maybe she might not have wanted to identify herself as a hip hop artist because one, she doesn't want to box herself. And two, there is no space for a hip hop artist that has her style within the collective consensus of what a hip hop artist is. And that's why, you know, an artist like Focalistic finds it problematic to be boxed in as a hip hop artist because he's so much more. He's a dope rapper. You know what I mean? He's a really dope rapper, but he's so much more than just a hip hop artist. And South Africa has got, I don't know, over 40 million black people. That's more black people in South Africa than there are African Americans in America.
Yeah.
Damn.
So if you just consider that there are more black people in
South Africa than there are in America,
than there are African Americans in America. So that is something that when one considers that and thinks to themselves, you know,
we have more people.
No, when one just considers that and thinks to themselves, we've got much more culture.
Oh, yeah.
We've got much more diversity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas in America, you get like a single stream, but it's divided up into the different places in which when you go to the South, there's a different Southern hip hop. You know what I mean? When you go to Atlanta, if you break down the South, you go to Atlanta in Georgia, there's a different Atlanta hip hop. When you go down to Louisiana, there's a different hip hop sound in New Orleans and stuff like that. When you go to other places, Memphis, Tennessee, you know what I mean? There's different, when you go to New York, even in New York, there's Bronx, the different boroughs of New York, you know what I mean? Have got different styles, you know what I mean? Staten Island has its own style compared to Brooklyn, you know, compared to the Bronx, compared to Queens, you know.
But isn't it crazy how for me it's just like Focalistic,
compared to Manhattan.
Focalistic left like making like the hip hop music on beats, like the hip hop beats and stuff, and he instantly blew up and just became more international. Doesn't that show that people want more rappers from South Africa on piano beats?
I don't think it's about a piano beat. I think that people want more they want more from South Africans that actually originates from South Africa. They don't want South Africans to copy things from the rest of the world and then South Africanize them, localize them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just about adding South African colloquialisms. We've got a very rich and deep culture. We're not uprooted from our homeland and then shipped off as slaves and then stripped of our culture and stripped of our connection to our ancestry. We are still very in touch with our ancestry. We still know where we come from. And therefore, being as deeply rooted as we are, we've got a greater appreciation for our own culture than anything else. And that is why more people gravitate towards Kwaito, which has now come in the form of Amapiano, than they do gravitate towards other foreign sounds.
So we can say that even the Kwaito artists were rappers, ne?
They were.
Brown Dash
they
and
were.
them. Yeah.
They were and they still are. Rest in peace to Brown Dash.
Yeah, okay, let's take it back to the Amapiano conversation going worldwide. My question is, how many out of the South African bunch of Amapiano artists can actually make
That's
the impact
it's
worldwide?
Like Amapiano has so many misses too, you know, as much as there's a lot of hits, there's misses.
At the end of the day, it's about producing as much music as possible to contribute to what we have to offer to the world. And amongst all that quantity, the quality, the cream will rise to the top. And because the world is so in love with this sound, which is unilaterally and unanimously appreciated by all South Africans from all parts. You know, before we had certain sounds, like there was Kwaito, which was big, but it was more big in the inland towns and with a certain sound, right?
Yeah.
And then in Durban, they had their own form of Durban Kwaito. And then, you know what I mean? In different parts of the country, different genres were blowing up. With Amapiano, right, which is a derivative of Kwaito, you know, we now have a sound where whether you're in Cape Town, people love Amapiano more than anything else. Whether you're in Eastern Cape, people love Amapiano.
What about
more
Durban
than
though? They're still
when
holding
you're
on
in-
to go.
The acting, no, the acting. I feel
Look
like
at
they love it.
DJ Junior DeRocca.
That's what I was saying.
that
He did
Catalia.
Catalia, yeah.
And that is bigger than DJ Legs.
Yeah.
Samba Ngolai.
But they're still
It's the
acting
same
like they're
lyrics.
still acting like we don't wanna, you know.
No, there are certain people.
Oh, you think
There are certain
so?
influential people, but when you look at the public, when you go to the dance floor, people can't help themselves. At the end of the day, Samba Ngolai, right,
Yeah.
is bigger on Catalina or Catalia or
But
whatever.
let's-
But Samba Ngolai is also the hook of the DJ Lag song, which features OK Malum Cool Cat, has all these remixes
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything else.
Let's be honest. Is that not like they just rip off that song, Catalia? Because it's exactly the same lyrics.
As DJ Lag song.
Yes, and that one came out first.
Okay, you could say that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying to you is that judging by that, Catalia is still bigger.
Yeah.
Way
Even
big,
in
way
Durban.
bigger.
You know what I mean? So therefore, you can then safely say that people in KZN appreciate the Amapiano sound now more than they do Dom.
For me, it's like when I talk about Amapiano going worldwide, I see a few actually artists making it worldwide because of their presence in SA. They're not using it to their full advantage. Like Mtuda is big, and I get it, music-wise, but he's not.
I've never seen his face. though.
Like it's hard to find who he looks like.
Yeah,
and
that's a
everything.
branding issue. And
Yeah.
the brands, the bigger brands will rise to the top. At the end of the day, Devin Gogo, you know, is
Yeah,
already,
she's built her brand
is already
really well,
building her
yeah.
brand up, and she's already got a festival booking in the UK.
Yeah,
She's already
so
going to
that-
be out there, and everybody else, Focalistic has built his brand across the
Vigro,
African continent.
Vigro Deep,
Deep has also
Maphorisa.
built his brand. Scorpion Kings, they've now teamed up with Trésor, which means that Francophone Africa, the French-speaking parts of Africa, are now
Yeah.
going to have an artist who they can, you know, now
Identify with.
as a flagship artist,
Sure.
you know what I mean, for that side of the world. And it's sort of like Central and West Africa
Yeah.
is Francophone. You know what I mean? If you go to Senegal, the Gambia, what
Burkina
other
Faso.
countries
Burkina
speak
Faso.
French?
Cameroon,
Come on.
Burkina Faso,
You understand
Guinea,
all
I
this?
think.
You understand? Yeah.
DRC.
Yes.
DRC, they speak French. Yeah.
But can we just talk about, like, I just want to say this, the diversity in South African music is so wide because you get people like the Amapiano people blowing up, and then you can also get a sound like Master KG's Limpopo sound, which ends up taking over the world.
Bolo
too,
house
you know?
music, which
It's
is
called what?
Bolo house.
Oh,
Bolo
Bolo
house.
Yeah, Bolobedu house.
It's like
So Bolobedu, I'll let my father tell you guys what Bolobedu is.
Bulawayo? Yes, it is where I am from. Bulawayo is about 10 kilometers between Zanini and then Kiani, somewhere else there. Bulawayo are people, many years ago, they were in Venda. And then the queen, Mujaji, maybe over 300 years ago, the rain queen, yeah, she fled to that other side there. They used to be rainmakers. You see, in Venda so far, they had what they call mushonga, which they use, you know, for rain-making magic and so on. So she came over to this very area where we stay. And then she started doing it, making rain in that way. When I grew up, each and every year, they would go to each and every house, put some medicine in the doors, then would give chickens, would give, you know, as a way of paying for the rain towards the rain that will be coming.
Yeah.
That was, whatever you call it. Homage. Yeah, we used to do that. Then, that is how we are. That is where we are from.
So would you
In
say that
Bulawayo.
Master KG's sound traces from all the way back there?
Master KG?
Yeah, the sound.
Yena la yimbelela ku Jerusalem.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. No, that is another thing that eventually, if you look at it, it can be from that other side. It's just that upon the time, like now, things have changed so much from what we used to be. And then things are very, very different now. And then, there are too many people interlinked and so forth. So it is no more as real as it
Original.
went. Yeah. But one thing for sure, it is from that side.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool,
that's Bolo House, that's Bulubedu house music. So that's what Bujumuju
Oh,
used to
yes.
create.
Oh,
And
yes.
you guys know that Bujumuju, his music was blowing up internationally.
Massive.
Like he's the first guy that really started getting hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube before South African artists really cranked up the views on YouTube and everything else. And his sound was blowing up internationally. So Master KG is 24 years old now. He's just a continuation of what Bujumuju had already started back then. And that's also its own sound. Limpopo's got its own sound, but it's blowing up globally, internationally. You know, they've got an artist like Shoma Josie, who is a BET award winner. You know what I mean? And also signed to one of the biggest record labels in the States, you know, Epic, you know what I mean? Where Michael Jackson was, you know. You know, we've got diversity. We're rich in culture. We're rich in heritage. And in terms of musical creativity, we've always got a new sound every
I
single
don't mean to
couple of
pocket
years.
watch, nah, but just like you are like a finance person, bro. Tell me, how much money do you
Finance.
think Master KG like?
No, I wouldn't call myself a finance person.
Like in
But
terms of the music
that
finances.
that song itself is enough to make him generationally wealthy.
Like his grandkids.
And plus he also signed for his album, didn't he sign a deal with Warner?
Warner,
They
yeah.
signed a licensing deal with Elektra Records, which is an imprint of Warner. So Elektra in France. So he signed a deal in France. His song is multi-platinum in France, multi-platinum in Italy.
He's suing those companies for using.
Well, yes, his lawyers and the record label Warner are suing companies for abusing, not using, for abusing.
Because they didn't pay.
They made adverts
Imagine.
instead of just doing a normal challenge. You know what I mean? Like you just look at the production value of the things that they were shooting. It's not like you and me making a TikTok with our phones. You know what I mean?
That was a whole
It's big
production team.
budgets type
It
stuff.
was a whole
And they didn't
entire
even
production.
put money on the side for him. You know?
You understand what I'm saying? They flouted. They did exactly what Fenty did to Busiswa in another way. They
And it's been happening. Will.i.am did the same thing a
well,
few
he
months
stole
ago.
a beat from DJ Lag.
Oh yeah, nah.
He stole a beat from DJ Lag. And the reason why he was able to do that is because DJ Lag, when Grom was blowing up, when it should have been blowing up, I mean, Distraction Boys also took a beat from DJ Lag, made
Omunye
Omunye
Pes
Pes
Omunye,
Omunye,
yeah.
which was a trip to New York or trip to
Yes,
something.
yes.
I forgot what the original beat was, but Grom and the movement should have celebrated DJ Lag when he was actually pioneering the sound and taking it to new heights and blowing up internationally. But because he was hidden behind all the established brands which people knew of internationally, and people who were had international platforms from South Africa did not want to expose DJ Lag to their international counterparts as well. He's basically was erased.
Like sidelined.
He was sidelined. And that's why people like Will.i.am. I mean, if DJ Lag was the biggest brand
You wouldn't
in the
do
world,
Yeah, it wouldn't happen. Yeah.
that would have never happened.
Yeah.
And especially so late in the game. You know what I mean? And because he did end up rising up to who he became, you know, he got proper management and everything else, you know, Sevi, shout out to her.
How do you think we stop Americans and just like the Western people from stealing our creativity?
It's hard. They've
Well-
been doing it for years though.
Because it looks like it's not gonna stop.
From fashion to
for
music.
me, I find it as a form of flattery that people want to imitate sounds that
But then
originate
they,
from
they
don't,
make
they
so
don't
much money.
compensate us. That's the problem.
It's because we need to work harder at protecting what is ours. The same way we protected Rooibos as a geographic trademark, we need to protect Amapiano and Kwaito as a geographic trademark. We need to ensure that we tell the story, because it's all about us making sure that we create the narrative for the rest of the world to then know that that they're appreciating this, that they're consuming this, that they're enamored by originates from South Africa, and that there's so much more that South Africa has to offer. You know, and there's so much that South Africa has given the world. You know, South Africa has been really underappreciated in terms of the music landscape. You know, we bring so many new sounds. Every 3 years or 2 years is a new sound that's making South Africans go crazy, you know, and that is why people were thinking to themselves, oh, maybe Amapiano might fade out after 3 years because South Africa always generates a new sound. The difference is this time is that where other sounds reached their ceiling locally and weren't able to be exported in the rest of the world, Amapiano has backed that trend, and because of how, you know, the internet is now
I was going to say it's credit to the internet mostly.
Also, like, I think the
TikToks
other
and
aspects of Amapiano, from the lifestyle to the language to the
to
dances,
the Savannah sponsors.
even to the dancing.
You need to speak to Johan Rupert for that.
Oh yeah. How
That's
do we do that
Distel.
though?
Well,
that's like the
Distel.
highest level. Yeah.
Distel, do you want to tell them about your brother-in-law?
Yeah, let's enter.
Is he what you is it Bankul? Enestrekos. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's first tell them about him, what he's done, like the work that he did, and then also Pt1.
Oh yes, he was a manager somewhere in Distel, and then promoting. Yeah.
So hold on, Pt1 is also known as Specs, who is the first rapper to ever release a solo project in South African hip hop.
I think Rashid told us about Specs.
Yeah, he should have. Yeah. So that is my big cousin, my big brother.
Okay.
Yeah, and my dad is his uncle. So tell them about his dad and then him as well.
Yeah, he was a manager in Distel, and then we used to call them then distillers. They had brandy, you see there's Richilo, and then many brands, winery and other stuff that they used to promote. So we were part, we were about trying to assist him, to be with him. We were about 4 and 5, wherever he would promote these things for distillers, we would go there and be with him and so forth. And then for many, many years, the most important day so far was the day, the 15th of June, no, the 15th of July, 1984. We were somewhere in Springs. On my way back, maybe 2 a.m., we were promoting whatever it is. Then that is the day my daughter was born. And then in the morning, I was tired. Then I had to take my wife to hospital, and then she was born. The day before that, we were promoting distillers. Yeah, so we were promoting that, assisting him and being with him wherever he went. Yeah, he played a very big role in Distill so far.
And then his son?
Wangani, yes. His son also, like now, like father, like son. He's doing something similar, but as a consultant, but not permanently working there.
But what did he do, like when he was a child? Making music, all that stuff?
Yes, he loved music so much music, and then so more than whatever. He didn't also like you. He loved music in a manner that if ever you could say, here is school, here is music, he would go the other way. So, but that's where he is. You see, people are different. It's no longer like ourselves. It was one way, school or nothing. But now, things are different.
I mean,
you can be an influencer.
Tell us about your relationship with Pt1, like when he was a child growing up. What type of a child was he?
Yeah, he was, I think, from childhood, he was a very child who loved me very, very, very much. And then if I'm going to his house, there was no way I would walk out and go away. They would leave. No, I wouldn't leave, because he would cry, and then he felt that I should be with him at any time, 24 hours a day, unless he was asleep. So they used to send him somewhere else, and then I would disappear without him seeing me that I've left. So that is how he loved me. He wanted to be with me. He grew up in that way. I was so much loving him, wanting to see him do whatever is best, because I was always there for him.
I mean, what I want to ask, it's like you're talking about the 80s and stuff. Us growing up, we were told that during those times, it was very difficult for black people. And it seems like you guys and your family, you knew a lot of well-connected people. How did you guys manage to maneuver in those times to be able to live a certain standard of life.
Because he told us when he was leaving the hospital, it was a Mercedes. Like
you guys, like you were like upper middle class, if I may say so. Nota.
Yeah, we tried our best. We worked very much. We did whatever it was best. It was difficult by then. And then we did whatever it was necessary. We worked hard, other than now. You know, in our time, there was apartheid, there was everything, and so on. And then we did our best. There was state of emergencies. I mean, we did our best until 1986, when this state of emergency came into effect. It's only then that probably we didn't go out and so forth. And then, it was tough in our time, but we did our best under difficult.
But would you say that there were still opportunities for black people, even in the 70s and 80s, regardless of what we were going through?
We were working very hard to get wherever we could get to. And then there weren't much, but we made things happen. We made things happen. We really did that.
May I ask, what type of business were you in?
I wasn't in business by then. I was working somewhere in a mine company in Goldfields, in the architectural department. I was designing houses and so forth. So, yes.
So would you say that it's sort of like your genius and hard work that combined together?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you could put it that way, but I did my best.
Okay, after Goldfields, what did you do?
Then I started building.
Oh, okay.
You see, as I say, in Goldfields, I was an architectural draftsman doing building plans, and I learned a lot so far in Goldfields. I learned a lot of architectural work, engineering work, and so forth. So then I came into building houses myself, and then having people working. I did it then until today. I'm still doing it.
So you're a property developer right now?
Yes, I develop houses and so on. Yes, I've done some of the big things that I've done. And then
what are the biggest buildings that you've done?
Oh, the biggest building, if you go along Errolton, I built a big company that is Errolton Steel, probably 3,000 square meters, if not more. Very big, massive, from here to far away. Yeah, that is the bigger thing. I did it. That was 1987 or 88. And then, that is a big, massive building built by me.
That is really inspiring.
Yeah, that's good. And houses also, many houses that I built, some of them very, very big.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also recently, the church in Eldos. That church is big. That church is very beautiful in El Dorado Park, Extension 5 in Wolf Strat. Very nice.
What's the name of the church?
EOM International. I built it. That's very nice. Yeah.
That's amazing. Nota, can we get back into the...
He was about to tell us about a Savannah sponsor and then...
Oh, yeah.
I know. I'm just saying. So, like...
yeah.
I mean...
That's Johan Rupert.
Yeah.
Company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Distel. They also own Cruise Vodka.
Oh, yeah.
And basically, they did a deal with AKA to give him a royalty for his flavors of Cruise Vodka, which then set off a chain of events that caused all other celebrities that had their brands.
But you're saying it's the first person?
You agreeing with him?
He's the
saying,
first person.
Wait.
He's the first person
I doubt.
to get. No, wait.
It's fine.
He's the first person
Here it is.
to get a big brand like Cruise Vodka to give him a royalty on the sales of his own
But do you
brand
agree
of
with
vodka.
what he said?
Yes, all the celebrity deals that are coming up right now.
What about Kulichana and Absolute?
Kulichana,
He
Absolute.
didn't get a royalty from Absolute sales. He didn't have his own derivative of the Absolute vodka. There wasn't an Absolute Kulichana vodka.
Yes.
It was Kulichana branding on the Absolute vodka. It was him getting a check to be an ambassador, but it wasn't him having his own brand that they designed for him that he actually made. So AKA is the one who set that off. He was the only brand big enough to negotiate that type of deal.
Casper?
And once he was also a brand ambassador for Ciroc.
Ciroc, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's only because
What about
his
Bonang?
manager
Bonang, he said
had close
celebrity
ties with
culture,
the
period.
brand manager. Bonang as well.
It was after him.
But it was after him. So
Wasn't there someone else before, but I'm trying to think. There was
you
no
guys
one.
want to discredit him.
It's not
Fine.
discrediting.
It's
What
just
I'm
like,
saying is
yo,
this.
so
What I'm saying is
but
this.
you
What
know
I'm saying is
check.
this. Is that he didn't negotiate for everybody else.
Yeah.
But when he got his deal, everybody else could then go and say, "I want a deal like AKA."
Then, but like, tell me, why does he have to say it
that's
right
why
now, though?
The
Because
reason why is because if we don't give him respect for that, if we don't pay his dues, then we erase the contribution he's had to now other artists benefiting from his hard negotiation skills. He had to negotiate really hard. He had to add lots of value to this brand. At the end of the day, there's no other artist who's got a liquor brand sponsorship that has ads playing during every UEFA Champions League match, during every
But for me, it's
FA,
like that
Premier League match, during every. You understand what I'm saying? Just think of that. There's no one.
That's
who has
dope.
That.
That's
It's
dope.
Just in the same way as.
But
Why are you saying but? Why are you saying
now?
but?
Why when
Why mustn't he
Boiti
take credit?
Why when Boiti?
It's not about Boiti.
He said it right after Boiti announced.
What about Boulevard has just announced a new flavor? His own baby mama, DJ Zintle, benefited from his negotiation skills. Cairo is benefiting.
Wait. Can you talk about...
No. Cairo is benefiting at the end of the day. Everybody's benefiting. The mere fact that now even Boiti is him acknowledging the fact that there are so many now artists that are getting royalties from having their own liquor brands. There are so many. It's now gotten to the point where Boiti's got her own thing, Bonang's got her own thing, Zintle's got her own thing. Who else has got their own thing?
I want to talk about him.
There's so many now, right?
Yeah.
There's so many, right? If there were no more, there's so many. You understand? Casper doesn't have the Ciroc ambassadorship anymore.
Okay, but Boiti
has got
the
her
company.
own signature brand.
He ruined the company that he started with which is Beam Group, which
He didn't ruin
initially
it.
got him the
He didn't
deals
ruin it.
and the
He didn't
Reebok
ruin
deals.
it. No, it didn't.
He burned those bridges with Costinyo.
Why are you screaming at me?
I'm not screaming. I'm just trying to prove
He
my
didn't burn
point.
those bridges. What happened is that Costinyo robbed him of money. Costinyo basically committed fraud and left him for dead. Hold on, with debts, with taxes to pay and everything else. At the end of the day, he didn't come out and say Costinyo did this to me and everything else. He didn't burn those bridges. They severed business ties. At the end of the day, when Costinyo was going through a bereavement and everything else, he was on a list of people that were not allowed to enter the house when he came to pay his last respects. And that is how Costinyo treated him. They were business partners and he gave all the responsibility of running the business to Costinyo, and Costinyo betrayed him. And he still moved on and rebuilt.
But would you say that
And
he
the
was
Cruz
more
vodka
successful
deal,
during the
The
Beam
Cruz
Group
vodka
days?
deal, no, it was not. He was not. The Cruz vodka deal.
Monetary-wise too.
No, he was not. The Cruz vodka deal, that's the thing. He thought that was the case, but he was being bought a Rolex with his own money. You understand what I'm saying? There were people being paid salaries, like Costinyo's family members being paid high salaries out of the money that he was generating because of his brand, right? And then that money ended up paying these people's salaries so that they could buy cars and they could take out loans and everything else. Not for the fact that they were doing any work, not for the fact that they were working for him. So he got conned. He got screwed over. And this is exactly what made guys like Sizwe Dlomo, sort of lose respect for him in a way. Because they're like, how can you be such a big artist? How can you be this guy? And yet your business partner screws you out of business and everything else. At the end of the day, he took an L, but he didn't throw anybody under the bus. This is the first time you're hearing of this. It's coming from me. You understand what I'm saying? You didn't hear it from him.
Yeah.
And that's what he's done. He's protected the people that did him wrong. At the end of the day, he's moved on. He's rebuilt. And that Cruz vodka deal says AKA. It doesn't say Beam Group. It came because of who AKA is. The impact that he made. The fact that there isn't a person that doesn't know AKA's music. My dad knows AKA's music. You know AKA?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
I hear you.
So he's 69.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So just as much as
AK is a legend. Bro.
So, as you pour yourself some more fire over there,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's another thing. He broke down barriers that other artists could not break down. He's the reason why hip hop artists could perform with bands. When
Story
WHP
T,
did it,
though.
no, don't. You see, that's another thing, is that you have got your own perception
Do
from
Me and the
outside,
Volume has
right?
been doing it for a while, though, let's be honest.
No. Do Me and the Volume was 340 Mil, which is a band, and Do Me, right?
Yeah.
Now, they were booked for festivals and everything else, right? Cool. You know what I mean? I understand that. I know that. They didn't make it so that other hip-hop artists could demand to have a band.
Yeah.
When WHP started performing with his band, he didn't make it, and his bass player, who was a woman as well.
She came here.
Debsa.
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? He didn't make it so that other artists could then demand to have a band. But when he did it, right? He did it so that other artists could then demand to have a band, to have backline and everything else, hip-hop artists, at the height of hip-hop. You must remember that those other artists, they did it before, you know what I mean? Before hip-hop reached its height, when hip-hop was just a niche thing, you know, in the corners. So, yes, you might have seen Stogie T do it before him, but he did it so that everybody could do it after him.
So what you're just saying is he popularized it? That's all.
No, he made it standard. He standardized it. He normalized it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I agree with you that AK is a legend, nah, but would you agree that recently...
In terms of hospitality riders for South African artists, he made it a standard. In terms of the first artist to say, you know what, this international company doesn't want to adhere to my thing, Castle Light, I'm not even performing. I'm going to stay at my hotel until I get A, B, and C, and D. He's the first local artist that said, you know what, I'm pulling the middle finger to this big brand.
So
you know what I mean?
from a business perspective...
I benefited.
When he
I
leaves-
benefited from all the fights that he fought.
Let me ask you this.
He's
though.
like the Winnie Mandela of
leaves
SA
Beam
hip hop.
Group- when he leaves Beam Group as an independent company,
He didn't
and then
leave
goes
it.
back to Benza,
He didn't leave it. He
Goes
didn't
back to
leave it.
Benza, back to the major structure.
No, he didn't leave it. He didn't leave it.
What happened?
It collapsed. Right?
Okay.
It collapsed. The company collapsed. You know, he lost money. He lost. He trusted someone and he lost. But also at the same time, he never had the right to actually leave Fifth Season. He still owed them albums. But because the contract did not really stipulate, they had a licensing agreement with Sony, it didn't really stipulate that he can't release other albums elsewhere. He was able to get away with releasing Touch My Blood outside of his deal. And there was nothing that the major could do to stop him, right? It was up to Benza to stop him. Now, Benza, because, you know, he's a strategic businessman, he's like, yo, do your project, right? When it all comes apart, I'll still be here.
It's like he knew that it's gonna get messed up, you know.
At the end of the day, we were in this building. The reason why there's security in this building, there's that entrance there, is because Prince Costinyo pulled a gun on Casper in this building.
And he said it at live, remember?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the live Emperors, yeah, I remember.
Why did he do that though?
You understand? So he partnered with a guy who would do that.
Imagine.
Why did he do that though?
I don't know.
So
why
him
Prince
and
did it.
Prince were already friends before they got into
They
business.
were friends,
yeah?
and exactly. And you get into business with your friends.
Nah, that's
Sometimes you
bad.
accept certain things that are not proper.
So Prince was pulling it like on Casper for him, like this is my home.
yeah.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
That's
crazy,
nonsensical
dog,
though.
So now you see this guy got into business with him, and the business obviously then collapsed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like they were both hotheads.
Not that they were both hotheads.
No, but
just
like that one is
you know,
extreme, that one.
It's just one.
I mean, he slapped him, the other
could
one put
say,
the gun on
one
him.
could
dog.
say the one was a con man and he was conned. He was conned. You know what I mean? He got into business with a con artist. I know it. I've experienced that myself. You know what I mean? In
But
previous
would you give
businesses
some
that I've
credit to Prince though, as a businessman? Just like
No.
like how he marketed
No.
Touch My Blood,
No.
helicopters flying,
No.
billboards, you know?
No.
Bringing albums
Rock,
outside.
No.
Cruise, Telkom.
No.
Not Telkom, Vodacom.
No.
So
Why-
none of that, you're just going to discredit all of that.
Why? AKA was already the brand that was bringing in enough money to afford all those things. AKA was the cash cow. He's the one who demanded that those marketing things were done. He's the one that said, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want a helicopter. And the fact that Prince was the operations officer that was doing it, it doesn't mean that he wasn't a con man. Doesn't mean that he wasn't stealing this guy's money. Doesn't mean that this guy didn't buy himself this Rolex that he thought was a gift.
Damn, bro.
No, but we've been seeing this for the
let's
past
talk
lot
about
of years
this.
in terms
No,
of
no,
wait.
Let me go
let's
get
finish it
beyond
up.
that. Let me get beyond that because like you were also saying another thing. So, he went back to Benza. right? They went business, but he renegotiated the deal with Benza. It's now a joint venture. It's no longer just fifth season. It's fifth A, which is fifth AKA. Do you understand? So now they're in partnership with Benza. He's got a better deal. So at the end of the day, he might have done something which to the outside world, to you guys, looks crazy, but he actually managed to renegotiate his deal.
He might have a better deal, but
He's got
let's
a
be
better
honest,
deal.
his hot days, they're not the same
No,
anymore.
wait.
He's not at the...
Besides that,
Yeah.
something I want to clarify. What we spoke about last week, saying
He's
that,
no longer a new artist.
but besides that,
And there's many new artists, there's many new sounds and everything else. But at the end of the day, you can't deny that he's a legend.
owns
in terms
who
of
owns the masters? That's
wait,
what I
They
wanna know.
own it
With
together.
Benza.
both of
Yes,
them.
it's a
Okay,
partnership.
let's talk about because he said last time that Casper, because of what is seen on Instagram, is way wealthier than AKA.
I never said he's way wealthier.
You
I
said he has more
I said
money.
in 2020,
He has more
Casper
money.
made more money than AKA.
I think
That's
no.
what- you don't think so?
No, I know he did.
Obviously, we're speculating here. These are not like facts. And
Look,
everything.
at the end of the day, Casper's the type of guy who will rent a Rolls Royce for a month just to show off with it. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, what was he making? It's not like Play Energy Drink made its own version.
Play and Samsung.
Yeah, I understand. It's not like they made their own version of the whole entire thing. And also that Samsung deal wasn't as lucrative as he's making out to be. It's just more long-term. And I mean, look, okay, so let me put it to you like this. Basically, that Samsung deal, right? At the beginning of it, you know, the reason why I had a clash with Tili, and he ended up calling me schizophrenic and all that stuff, you know what I mean, is because when they got that Samsung deal, right, I hit up Bass, Oskido's son, he's also a producer. And I said, yo, congratulations on this Samsung deal. And he was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, I saw remote control is now synced with Samsung and everything else. And then he says, no, I don't know anything about it. I was like, you don't know anything about it? So then I called the people at Samsung, or the people responsible for the ad campaign and the agency, and I said, hey, hold on, the guy who made the beat, right, or one of the guys who made the beat, because there was two of them.
This is the Barre Shebile. Is that one? ne?
Remote control.
Yeah.
It's remote control.
Oh, yeah.
Khopela Oscar Ngutsa di celebrate.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, yeah.
Instagram,
The one on,
the
the Kwaito album.
trendies, which means
Rabo
Rabo
phone
control.
Yeah. The Kwaito album, ne? The one with in red.
The
That
one on the Amapiano esque album.
Yeah.
And yeah, mixture of all these
So
different.
Blaze didn't make any money.
I love that song. No, he did. I ended up getting the money for him.
Oh.
But I'll tell you how it happened. I'm explaining the story. So the whole entire thing, I called the agency. I'm like, hey, hold on. This guy says he wasn't informed about this whole entire thing, and he's the beat maker. You know what I mean? He owns actually 25%. The other 25% is owned by Thabo Kanyile. Do you know the name Kanyile? Like Jabu Kanyile? Jabu Kanyile. You don't know Jabu Kanyile?
I've
Papa,
heard
do you
of
know
the
Jabu
name.
Kanyile?
Yes.
I've heard of the name.
Sing the song.
I might not know the songs,
Sing
but
the one song you know.
the song, you see,
Sing Tao.
Chabo, what is that?
Kenale mwana wa mushima
Oh, I know that song. I know that song.
Tabo yo mwana wa
I know that song,
Afrika.
okay.
Ayebo. Thabo Kanyile
Yeah.
is
okay.
Jabu Kanyile's son.
Oh.
Kenale mwana wa mushima nyana.
Oh.
Izola haye
Kitabo. Tabo yo mwana wa Afrika.
Ayebo. Ayoyo. Mwana wa
Classic,
Afrika.
classic.
Ayebo. So the other 25% of the song was owned by him.
Yeah.
So I asked the agency, they said, no, Tili says that they control 100% of the publishing for the song. Which
And
was
you
not
were
true.
like, hell no.
I was like, it's not true.
Yeah.
And they'd already been paid 500,000 rands for the first 6 months of the campaign. And they didn't inform anybody else, right? So I said, no, there's a problem here, whatever. You know, luckily, Samsung decided to renew the campaign. So I sent emails, I CC'd Tili, I CC'd Ryan Hill from Universal Music Publishing, the MD of Universal Music Publishing. And I said, hey, attend to this. These guys are trying to steal. Well, they've already stolen. They stole the R500,000 rand. But luckily, Samsung renewed the campaign. So the second tranche of the R500,000 rand was then paid to Thabo and Base. And that's basically like how I saved the situation for them. And that's where my conflict with Tili starts because, I exposed him as a thief. He stole R500,000 rand from two artists, who are sons of legends. I mean, the one is the son of Oskido.
So they got
the
paid
other one is
$500,000, but that doesn't mean that he stole the $500,000 from the two of them.
no,
But he had to share it.
Oh, he had to share
They
it.
were supposed to share 250,000 rands.
Yeah.
And what I didn't know at the time is that DJ Somebody also contributed to the song. So he contributed to the lyrics of the song. So out of that other 250,000 rands, Casper took the whole entire 250,000 or took the whole entire 500,000 rands when he should have shared some of it with DJ Somebody. And that's why there was that article that came out where it says DJ Somebody. You can Google it there.
But Casper was saying that they're friends. I remember that article.
I understand that article,
Casper
yes.
was
They're
saying
saying,
that they're friends.
I know, but that's because they resolved the issue. You know what I mean? And Casper in your vest, DJ Somebody sues DJ Casper. DJ Somebody sues Casper.
I remember he came out, he was like, yo, bro, like they were even in Cape Town
but
together.
the thing is that the person who actually did all the dirty dealing was Tili.
It's this one.
Yeah.
Oh
You can
yeah, I
read it.
remember.
The guy who did all the dirty dealing. You know what I mean? It's
So you're
not
telling
like
me
it's
that
not like
Tili is the
Katlego
problem?
Malachi, the lawyer who actually fought for somebody, was lying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's scroll up. You can read that article. It says DJ Somebody sues. That says okay, Johannesburg, award-winning. Yeah.
Wait.
Unpaid royalties, okay.
Yeah, award-winning recording superstar Casper Nyovest and his company are being accused by fellow musician DJ Somebody of defrauding him of royalties for their hit song. Somebody also said Casper shortchanged him of R500,000 rand that Casper received from a Samsung television advert. You see,
I wouldn't be surprised if you're the one which got this article
I
written.
didn't. That was Katlego Malachi, the lawyer. It says, go. So Casper Mdlonga and Kanyile, he said Casper Mdlonga and Kanyile are entitled to 25% of the song's publishing rights, whatever. You understand? So that's Tili. That's Tili for you, man. That's the dude. That's the dude.
So Casper has his own
schizophrenic.
Costa. You see? He has his own Prince Costa.
Well, I mean, yes, you can say that. You can say that. You know what I mean?
To me, it sounds like these are just music game stuff.
It's
Like,
not music
I'm
game
sure
stuff. It's just
Lloyd
bad
now
business.
with Questa,
I mean, no, actually not.
You've never had a situation.
I've never had that situation.
Really?
And like,
I've
let's
never had
get
that
to it,
situation.
bro. Like, are you and Questa good?
Yeah, we're
Are you all
good.
fine?
No, we're not on speaking terms, but I mean, we're good.
Then if you're not on speaking terms,
Then you're not
you're
good, though.
No.
That's like saying
No, you need
Like-
you need to understand that, sometimes you understand that in business, right? When you have a certain partnership and you've got a certain relationship, right? It might work for the business period. We had an agreement.
Yeah.
We saw out that agreement. That agreement does not bind us to be now family members or friends or anything else. So
are you telling me that it wasn't genuine? Like, this is
not
not
about-
friend?
It wasn't friendship, it was business. It was business.
always business.
Okay.
It was
From
always
the beginning?
business. From
Yeah.
the beginning. It was always business. We met at Bada Bing. I was there for work. Bada Bing failed to get his career off the ground. And I said, fine, I will succeed where Bada Bing failed. And I did.
Yeah.
I did succeed. You know what I mean? I gave him the support that he needed, the assistance that he needed to get to where he is today, to get to being the big brand that
Do
he
you
can
think
stand
the
on
rift-
his
do you
own
think-
without my help
Do you think
anymore.
the rift comes from you coming out and being Nota, the authority, and speaking out?
No,
'Cause
it
you
does
were
not
behind
come from the
scenes.
rift.
You're behind
That's
the
not the
scenes.
rift. What happens is this. It wasn't even about me being behind the scenes. And me coming out was post our working relationship ending.
Oh, so it was way after that.
It was immediately after.
Oh, immediately
the
after.
day I said I'm severing ties with the
knew
rap life and
you were
everything
coming
else.
out
That's
now.
the day I went to McG's podcast and chill and recorded with Tiamo and Pindi.
Oh, yeah, I remember that episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the very day. That was on the 17th of March, 2020.
Do you think sometimes the way you speak will get you in positions where you don't have to be in? Like in positions
Wait,
whereby...
let's stay on Questa.
Yeah,
for a
we're
bit.
going to
Let's-
get there because right now you had a working relationship with Questa. Is it because the way you speak and you speak out, it gets people uncomfortable? And they don't want to be around you that much.
whenever you are representing an artist, you have to fight for them. And that is going to get you enemies. And you ask anybody who's ever represented an artist, the first thing that they do to that artist is tell them, you see this guy that's representing you, I know he's messing things up for you. That's what they do. They try and break up because you are fighting for the artist. You are fighting for the artist. You know what I mean? So for me, I learned that, you know what? You mustn't just fight for the artist. You must fight for your business and keep your business solid so that even if the artist is gone the next day, your business is still moving. And that's why my business is still moving. You know what I mean? My business is growing. So I've realized that, you know, you talk about Squatter Camp, their manager, Sbu, they used to say the same thing about him. You know what I mean? Anybody who's representing an artist, you know, people will try to come in between the working relationship, say bad things about either the manager because of his approach, because he wants what's best for the artist he's representing, and everybody wants what's best for them, and they want to screw the artist as much as possible. They want to shortchange the artist as much as possible. And they will say and do anything to discredit the people that are fighting to get the artist what is duly deserved of them. You know what I mean? Or what is due to them. You know what I mean?
Okay, so what happened with Rap Life? I saw a post from you a few
I spoke
weeks
about
ago.
it on the Sobering podcast. Like if
you
guys
spoke about it,
if you guys need to, like anyone who's watching this,
I don't think I've watched that.
Yeah, but it's on the Sobering podcast. So I spoke about how it collapsed. I mean, at the end of the day, I was there. I was working as a record executive until, you know, or for the purpose.
What is Questa doing? He was dropping something yesterday. Like I saw there's an event or something.
No, it was, I think, tape or something.
You don't know.
No, I don't know.
No.
Let's talk about
let's rock
this one. Yeah, Lucas raps the out in the streets, dog. What happened here?
So what they say.
No, let's not talk about that.
Why?
Let's not talk about that. That's bad behavior. That's
no, but then it's like because he's like an influential person to the music.
Influential.
To the young kids.
No, he's not influential to the young kids. There are just some people that are putting money in this kid's hand and giving him this ego where he can run around abusing people, slapping people around.
I don't think he's the one which slapped. It's the mob people.
It doesn't matter. That whole entire environment, this whole entire thing, we don't talk about people because they bought cars or people bought them cars or they've got cars that are rented that they're using. No, we talk about people.
It's not his milk.
It's not his money. Where is the money coming from? Which gigs are paying him enough to cop that Merc? Which songs are charting high enough?
And then I was saying the same thing.
So, you know what I mean? So people need to be smart. Rather, let's talk about Blackie. You know, that's the guy who's doing...
We already spoke about...
I mean, like, he didn't do anything this week, though.
I mean, we can talk about AKA paying Lobola, bro.
I'm very proud of him.
You're very proud of him?
I'm very proud of him. You know, he told me that he was about to do it, and I was like, you know, this is a big deal. This is a big thing. I was like, one thing that you need to ensure is that you need to have your malume there, your mother's brother. You need to have your supporting structure, people who can help introduce you into
a 21-year-old. Though, how does it make you feel?
She's older than 21.
She's like
Didn't
22.
they say she's a 2000 or something, Joe?
Nah, but either way.
Love is love.
No, listen. Look at how happy.
I know, but they look happy.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And obviously his brother Steph, you know, always
in the cut.
mean mugging. And that's how you know he's happy. That's his happy face.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's he's really excited. You see that
Rich
face?
Mahog.
Oh, look at him. Rich Mahog, obviously, you know, trying to make sure that Steph doesn't look out of place. But look at his dad. Look at
My dad is happy, though.
Look at that. You understand?
Sure.
So imagine you're making your father proud. You're taking your bride. You're there in front of your family, everyone that loves you. You guys bagged the biggest deal of your life. Look at them. All of them had to wear suits. You understand? When the generations of the family, the brothers have to wear suits, the parents, the father, the uncle, they have to wear suits. You must know that it's a serious deal that they needed to close. They closed the most serious deal of his life.
Are you saying that like
this is the biggest deal of his life?
Are you saying that this guy's family are like some
any man? I paid Lobola last year.
Yeah.
That was the biggest deal of my life.
All of you wearing suits.
I think it was probably the proudest moment. Papa, talk about that. You were paying Lobola. How was that? Tell them.
Nice.
Losing
it
money.
was just far away. You see, we're in my sister-in-law's house, and then paying Lobola. They were in New Zealand. And then doing it in that manner, it was very nice.
On Zoom.
Yeah, on Zoom.
You paid Lobola on Zoom.
Nice.
You must have done that. This is you, ne? You paid Lobolon too.
Yeah, obviously, my parents did it for me. My family did it for me. My
So it
sister.
wasn't even your money.
It was my money.
Because it's not your lover life, it's not
It
your
was
money.
just that we were not negotiating. You see, we cannot, because we're parents. Mom and dad they don't involve themselves with negotiation. But they were. The sister, she was there, and the aunt. The aunt is what is it? Spank's mother. What is that? Wangani's mother. Yes, they played a very important role. And
So Specs' mom was the chief negotiator with my sister.
yes.
Oh, damn.
And then the other big sister, you see, when he grew up, there was a sister, Helena, my sister's daughter. So she was also in Polokwane. Then we were in Johannesburg. Others were far away. The people that we were negotiating with were in New Zealand. It was very yes, also in the Great Britain. So it was a very
So your
interesting
wife's
thing.
parents are overseas?
Yeah, they are in New Zealand.
That's dope.
That's dope.
That's nice.
12 hours different. How many hours different?
Yeah, 12 or 11 hours time difference.
Yes.
Can we talk about the L that
Ascension.
Nasty C took, bro?
No,
'Cause
this is
broke
not an
my
L.
heart, this.
It's not an L.
For me,
But it
broke
can't-
my
It's an
heart. I don't wanna lie.
It's an April Fool's joke, and
Bad
you know,
one. A really bad one. Because it really.
it failed
It
because
shows,
you
it
guys.
shows how desperate.
No, it's
he
not
is,
desperate.
bruh.
It was painful because we actually believed that.
That's because he posted it. That's why we believed it. We like, I'm sure you know that you
We
sent the
knew
verse
that
or something, dog.
he's on that
for
level.
you to repost it, you know.
He's on that
Look,
level to get a
Papa-
verse with Jay-Z.
Do you know Jay-Z?
American. Beyonce's husband.
Hey. Okay.
Can you see how powerful Beyonce is?
Yeah.
My dad only knows of Jay-Z because of
Beyonce's
Beyonce.
husband, yeah.
So, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, yeah, cool. They made an April Fool's joke. They clowned you. They did it for clout. You know what I mean? And I mean, that's basically what Nasty's career has boiled down to in recent times, is a clout chase. I mean, from Zulu Man with Some Power, that was a clout chasing title because there was no Zulu in the album. I called it out. People called me a hater. But I mean,
there was a verse though.
the
to be
test
fair.
of time
Yeah.
will tell. And the test of time is telling right now is that any and everything that they can do for clout, if they can get an international thing because they think that just because you've got an international cosign, it means that South Africans must bow down to you. And that's not the case. You need to appeal to South Africans. And at the end of the day, man, I support him in his cloud chasing thing, you know what I mean? As long as he's flying the flag for South Africa, you know, in the end, as long as he knows that the only way to actually succeed is to make music that resonates with the broader South African. And that's what the sooner, or the more he does these sort of cloud chasing things, the sooner he'll come to the realization that there's no other option than to do exactly what I said, which is to authentically and truly represent South African music.
But I don't blame this on him. I'm just saying he took the L to a point where he believed it. I don't think he made it. The fact that he believed it and reposted it.
It was April Fool's Day.
And then he fell for it.
No, it was April Fool's Day.
But it was the first post was by the first post was by it was Charts Africa was the first post.
He didn't. There's no way he can believe that he's featured on an album which he didn't record a verse for. Come on.
Probably he did.
No,
are you
he
sure?
didn't.
Are you sure he doesn't have a verse
So
with
he
Jay-Z?
was fooling us too.
Yes,
He was in on the
No.
joke.
He was, how? He is the originator of the joke.
No, it was the first person to
I think
tweet
he
it
believed
was
it.
Charts
I
Africa.
think he actually believed it.
Exactly. Who sent it to Charts Africa? Charts Africa it's posts whatever is sent to them. So that's the whole entire thing, to do an April Fool's joke, and then he goes out and then says, okay, fine, let me get in on the joke. And then by April 2nd, it's removed.
It's deleted.
So, I mean, it's just an April Fool's joke, guys. I think you guys are taking it too seriously.
No,
You
I
guys
feel
are too
like
heartbroken.
I think I was proud. I was really
me
proud.
too.
I was really
like,
proud.
Damn, really, Jay-Z.
I was really
you
proud.
know?
I was like, damn.
Why didn't you guys check the calendar? Come on, on April 1st, you guys never believe
No, because
anything you
we're
read on
serious
April
about our
1st.
business. I thought other people are.
No, dog.
You know?
April Fool's is a serious joke. It's a serious joke.
Aye.
It's a serious joke. I also posted something on April Fool's Day.
What did you post?
I don't know. We'll get to it at the end.
Yeah, we can actually,
Yo,
for now,
okay,
for now,
yeah,
it's like
no.
it's okay, dog. We're done with everything else.
No. I think.
Or do you have something?
I just wanted to touch on Dikwala signing
Or to Empire. I heard you
signing
said
a
to
distribution
Empire.
deal
What do you
with
think
Empire.
of that?
How? And
Isn't
then
Empire an independent, whatever, distributor in the States?
you don't know about it.
And I know about it, but I mean,
Do you know
why
Dikwala?
is it a big deal?
I mean, like it's a big
Why
deal.
is signing a big deal? What makes a big deal is you've sold 1 million records. You've done this. You've got these plaques. That's a big deal. The achievement. Signing should not be a big. They haven't done any work yet. Let us talk about the work that has been done when it's been done.
Yeah.
No work has been done yet, right? No work has been done. It's like, you know what I mean? And it's not like a job. The things that people think signing a deal is like getting an employment contract. When you get an employment contract, that is you are guaranteed a salary and everything else. Signing this deal doesn't mean that your music is being streamed. Doesn't mean that you've gotten a check for it.
Basically.
You know what I mean? It means nothing until the work is done. So let's
We're
talk
looking
about
at
the
the
work once it's done.
potential of the possibility of what could happen.
Well, I mean, it's very much a PR.
It's a
A lot of
stunt.
PR. A lot of PR.
I don't know if I want to touch on Nadia and Vic Mensa.
Nadia
it's
is
fine.
fine. They're busy loving each other.
Yeah, they can do.
Let's talk about
Let's start.
Let's start there.
this one.
Let's start with the start.
What happened? Let's start
play
with.
it.
I mean,
Just
wait,
play
can
it,
you
just
just
play it.
can you just we can't hear the audio ish.
It's going. I think you can tell.
Oh, you don't be able to play on the thing.
So okay, hold on. I'll let my dad tell you. You saw this video, Papa?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yes. What's the problem? Why are you harassing me? Why are you harassing me? Why are you harassing me? I've got you on Instagram Live. I've got you on Instagram Live. I've got an 8:30 meeting. My wife is coming to get my car. Okay. Why are you harassing me? What's your name? No problem. No, what's your name?
Yo,
As for no problem.
this is obviously in
Where I stay.
where you stay, right?
you've seen.
Yeah, we know.
Papa?
Yes. Yeah. This is a very, very disturbing matter so far. If we live in a country that has got people like that, then it's not country at all. If there are police people who can do what this one did, then that's not a police at all. The fault will be, how can we have such people, such police people, who do such bad things and the following day they report to work? That is not something that can ever be allowed to happen. This is not a policeman. He is a thug.
What did Nota
mean,
do
like-
to get for this to happen to him though?
Absolutely nothing. You can see yourself that absolutely nothing. He just went by 8 o'clock. I wasn't there, but my wife tells me by 8 o'clock he went to buy some sugar. And then when he came back, he was in a hurry. Of course, his wife's supposed to go out and so on. So wherever he went to buy some sugar in a Caltex garage near where he stays, he saw the police vehicle standing, and then he went off to his place. On the last robot, Acre Avenue, whatever you call it.
Rodriguez Drive.
Yeah. Then the very vehicle stopped just alongside him. They wanted him to open the window. Then he opened, and then they said, "Hi, Kunjani," or whatever. They were greeting, just like greetings.
Yeah.
Probably he drove to his place. Then they followed. After he has opened the boom gate, then they drove in also. And then until he parked his car in his parking bay. That's what you are seeing, coming behind and so on. He did suspect that there must be something mischievous about the whole thing. Then that's where he started asking, "What are you doing? What do you want? Why are you harassing me?" It really shows that they didn't speak before. There was no way that they could have spoken before. And then if ever, they're supposed to have a siren. The police have got many things. From the outside, they should have stopped him.
Yeah.
A siren, they should have stopped him so far. They didn't. They were up to mischief, completely mischief that we don't know what it could be and why can it be such a manner. A police wouldn't be in such a manner. So, attacking him, putting some handcuffs, throwing him in the buggy. My wife came, said, "Why are you doing this?" She came, she shouted at the police, "Why are you doing this? You want to kill my son," whatever the case is. But, well, she was ignored. They did whatever they did until they took him to the police cells. And then I realized how bad, how everything is, because the following day I went with him. When he opened up a case, I was there. I listened to everything. It made me cry because I never thought that particular thing can happen to an individual, let alone my son, an individual. It can never happen because, you see, I know of the story of George Floyd in America where the police did whatever he did.
Yes.
I know of that. I've looked at it in television and so forth. There was some wrong that he might have done, the George Floyd or whatever. The police suspected something. But it's not so with my son. There was never such a thing. Why can he be so inhuman and do such a things? I wouldn't know because there was no contact. He doesn't know my son. And then my son doesn't know him. How can you, in the place where my son lives, go and do such things like that and so forth? No, that is complete. If ever this is the country that we live in where police are behaving in that manner, then it is no good place for us to be. Really, they cannot do such a thing. It's inhuman. No normal human being or can do such a, can behave in the manner this police person did.
So obviously, Nota, you suspect and believe that it's Black Coffee who sent these people, right? Because you got the letter, you got the email
From the lawyers.
with the
his
cease
lawyers.
and desist.
Well,
From
look,
his lawyers.
I just come from a cell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been brutalized. I've been, beaten up. They had me handcuffed, right, in the back of the police van. And then, obviously, when you're handcuffed, when your hands behind your back, just hold this microphone here, please, Daddy. When your hands behind your back, if the backy moves around, you can't stop yourself from falling over. So, like, even right now, I'm bruised over my upper body and everything else. I'm very stiff. My wrists are still sore, like around my wrists, you know what I mean? The handcuffs, you know what I mean? All over, like the whole entire wrist, you know what I mean?
Jeez.
So, for me, immediately after I end up getting out, I received this email with this cease and desist letter. It just seemed very suspicious. So at that point in time, I've just come out from a cell. I don't know who did it. Like, I don't know yet. We've opened a case so that we can find out who did it. You know what I mean? We can find out who sent these cops, if they were sent by somebody. I suspect they were sent because when they pulled up beside me, I am very sure that they wanted to know if it was really me. They wanted to identify me. There were two other cars in front of me. When the robots turned green, I turned into Broadacres Drive. You know what I mean? And they charged me with reckless driving, but I wasn't even driving on a public road. Because I'd gotten into my complex, which is a private road, and I obeyed the speed limit. I parked in my parking bay. I stopped where it was safe to do so. I asked the police officer to identify himself. You know what I mean? Which is the procedure. When you are stopped by police, you should ask them to identify themselves. He was supposed to tell me his name, show me his badge, and prove to me that he was on duty. He did neither of those things. And I was recording him on Instagram Live because I thought to myself that if these guys take my phone or whatever, at least let it be seen, let it be on live. So they took my phone and I had no idea that, I'd be able to retrieve the video. My phone is still at the police station. You know what I mean? We went to go and collect my phone at the police station. And yeah, my father will tell you what happened when we got there.
Yes, we did go, but the place was closed. And then they said we can only come and get it on Tuesday. I went again the following day, which was yesterday, and then the place was really closed. And then surely they said we can only get it on Tuesday.
But we saw the police officers.
Yes, we did see the.
What did they say?
The following day we did. He said he will do what he did yesterday.
Hey, man.
We'll still, the very
Again?
simple. Yes, he said so.
Wow.
It's very simple. He said so. He will do what he did yesterday, which means he will lock him up and do whatever he did yesterday, which, no normal human being can ever say such things. Police are there to protect, to make sure that there's law and order. But this one are there to kill and to do wrong.
And they can't do all of that for driving.
But then, then tell me then, how would you put two and two together? What type of connections would Black Coffee have to do such a thing?
Well, I mean, the cops can easily be influenced and ordered to follow me, to tail me up, to shake me up. You know what I mean? To shake me up.
this cease and desist letter, if you guys read it and go through it, you know, if you actually went through it, like if you went through the actual
I
message.
have it in my emails.
Yeah, you've also got it on your messages. You know, if you go through it, like it's a very ridiculous cease and desist letter because
It's about posts on social media.
that it's about articles, it's about commentary on articles.
About
I've got it
celebs.
here.
Oh,
I've got it here, so I'll read it from here, and while you post it up there. So you know,
Okay, there is it. You can read it here.
yeah. So I'll read it in front of my lap.
Let's start from the beginning, so whoever's looking at the screen can see.
So as you can see, the above matter refers. Okay. Okay. Let me just disconnect this from the charger and put it on my lap because you guys can scroll down on that side.
I'll do it.
So let's start at point 1, right? So I mean, at point 1, cease and desist, reputational damage to Nkosinathi, innocent, ironic, Maphumulo, and the Black Coffee brand. The above matter refers at point 1. We confirm that we act on behalf of Nkosinathi, innocent, Maphumulo, also known as Black Coffee, our client. We are instructed, so he told them, to make demand upon you as is more fully set out here under. Okay, the contents of this correspondence are not intended to be exhaustive of all information material to the issues contained herein, and our client reserves his rights in to supplement. So, you know, he can still add more information and still make further claims and or amend this correspondence in future should our client deem the same appropriate and or necessary in the circumstances. Number 5, our client instructs as follows. Public posts. On 14 March, you posted a screenshot of an article titled Accused of Physically Abusing Ntlembali, written by celebs on the social media platform known as Instagram. Portions of your caption of the post reads as follows. Sunday World won't report on this because the accused is a shareholder in their parent company, so I will personally bring it into the public discourse because enough is enough. The brotherhood of abuse must be stopped. Giving an abuser a platform is dangerous. There are no holy cows. Birds of a feather flock together indeed. A copy of your post is annexed here to marked A. You'll see, when you scroll down, you'll see the annexes, right? On 15 March, you posted a screenshot of a photo on Instagram, which was uploaded by Greg Maloka, and wherein our client appears together with other men. A portion of your caption of the post reads as follows. What's more problematic than one alleged abuser? 2 or more? Question mark. A copy of your post is annexed here to marked B. On 19 March 2021, you posted a screenshot of a video titled Black Coffee Slaps AKA's Manager in Polokwane, and which was uploaded by Skipani TV on the social media platform known as YouTube. A portion of your caption of the post reads as follows. Shout out to Act Now, Africa, for taking a stance against a repeat offender and serial abuser. Hashtag Black Coffee has 1 million views for his assault of one of the least violent and most decent people I know. Ellipsis. On 22 March, you posted a screenshot of an article titled GBV Groups Want Justice for Entle, which included a picture of our client written by celebs on Instagram. Your caption of the post read as follows. With more women at the helm, there is less room for abusers to protect each other. The recording industry needs to make a stand against gender-based violence, femicide, and rape culture. It's time for accountability and consequences, ! A copy of your post is annexed here to marked D. On 30 March 2020, you posted a screenshot of an article titled Black Coffee to Raise 3 Million for SA Creative Arts Students, written by Deepika Naidu on Instagram. No, it wasn't written by Deepika Naidu. It was written by Deepika Naidu on Times Live.
Yeah.
Right? I posted it on Instagram, but I don't know why they don't include that it was written on Times Live. Maybe because they don't want to share the connection.
between him and Arena Holdings, which is a company he claims to have equity in. Your caption of the post read as follows. The headline should read, Rape Apologist and Abuser to Raise 3 Rand for SA Creative Arts Students. At MX Depika, come on now, I can't do your job for you and also provide you with something to report about. There's 2.5 hours of At the Sobering to get a story from. Revisit that, ! So obviously I was referring to
The podcast.
The journalist taking a part of the Sobering podcast, but also not taking these parts where I said that, this guy
that fits her narrative. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's not even about her narrative, because she was also very active in that whole Rhodes University rape scandal. You guys can Google that after this, and we can discuss that basically to broaden this whole entire conversation. When asked by at Hansley WD or Hansley Wood, in the comment section under the aforesaid post whether our client was found guilty of rape, you responded as follows. Nope, but he parties and books DJs who are accused of drugging and raping women to his events. Birds of a feather. ! A
So
screenshot
Blvck
of your response is a next tier 2 marked F. Well, he's not suing me yet. He's threatening to sue me.
He's seeing every single thing that you say about him. Like every single
his
comment,
lawyers have to
post.
redo the research.
He's seeing the comments. Well, he's going through the comments because he's saying, okay, in the comments section, and this is another thing, it's like which junior candidate attorney actually wrote this, because the mere fact that you're threatening me and saying cease and desist. Have you sent a cease and desist to the people who actually posted the things that I reposted and commented on? No, you haven't. So here it says your post. This is what thing. Your posts contain prejudicial and defamatory statements which are unlawful, wrongful, and defamatory of our client, in that it was intended by you in disseminating same to cause our client harm and draw negative inference in respect of our client in the eyes of the general public. Now, for them to say it is unlawful, they are not judges. They are not a court. They don't determine whether something is unlawful. They can feel that it is unlawful. They can allege that it is unlawful. They can have an opinion. They can opine about the lawfulness of my post, but they cannot say but they are unlawful, right?
When does it become defamation of character?
That's another thing. We need to look at the law of defamation of character. And when does sharing posts that are in the media, on publications, on newspapers like the Daily Sun and everything else, when does commenting on things that are within the news cycle become defamation of character? You know what I mean? It's just like now you be sued for defamation of character for commenting about the cop that killed George Floyd. It's reported in the media. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. So 13, it is apparent that your posts relating to domestic violence are premised on Entle Mbalim law. It's Entle Mbalim Apumulo, by the way. Again, the divorce has not been settled. A protection order against our client. Now, I spoke about how she was granted a protection order. It's not that she's applied for one. She was granted one. And for her to be granted one, it means that a court has decided that there is sufficient evidence to grant her a protection order, according to the law. A court grants an interim protection order when the court believes that there is sufficient evidence, right? And that they need to grant this order in order to protect this person from being abused again. That is the reason why someone seeks the relief of the court in such instances.
So number 13.
You're number 13.
Yeah.
You have, however, disseminated same without any evidence or proof of the allegations made therein. I don't need evidence or proof. The proof is in the protection order being granted. That's what I'm talking about. The evidence is the protection order being granted. I'm commenting on the fact that a protection order has been granted. That is what is reported in the Daily Sun. Okay? And if they have a problem with that reporting and if they think that's false, they need to
take that up with the Daily Sun, not me.
Not you.
You know what I mean? You have further published these posts despite the fact that the allegations have been denied by our client and have not been tested, more particularly in that the application has yet to be heard and adjudicated upon, with only Mlotra's version being before the court. An interim protection order has been granted. It's been granted. What they're saying here is completely false. It's a lie. It's a lie. So the lawyers are lying on his behalf. He's instructed the lawyers to lie on his behalf. At the top of this thing, it says, we have been instructed by our client, right? So basically, this is now proof that the lawyers have been instructed to lie on this person's behalf. And, you know, for me, this is just like, again, another, like, it's just like, if I didn't believe that he might have sent these cops on me, all of this makes me suspect that he is capable of doing so, and he might be able to do so. Just like on just a basic character assessment. The fact that there's a video of him slapping Tsiama, I showed it to my father. I was like, this is black coffee. My father was shocked. Couldn't believe. He's like, what? He did this in public while people could see? You know what I mean? What did this person do to him to deserve that sort of treatment? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, number 14, insofar as your posts annexed here to as annexures A and E are concerned, it is clear that you are labeling our client a rape apologist and or rapist. I didn't label him a rapist. I didn't say he's a rapist. I said rape apologist. Rape apologist. So again, now they're trying to put words in my post, which are not there. And they've quoted my post, right? And they quoted me replying to someone saying, has he been found guilty of rape? And I said, nope.
Yeah.
And I explained and I expounded on that. You know what I mean? So again, this junior attorney that wrote this, you know, this really flimsy cease and desist letter, which, you know, still needs to be printed and find a toilet. On the basis that he had booked DJ Euphonic in the lineup for his birthday party. Naturally, these allegations are denied by a client in our strongest possible terms. How can you deny it? You put him up on the lineup. Can you guys go to the DJ
The 21st March.
Yeah, the 14th March, deep in the city.
I think you can find it way better on Instagram than Twitter.
No, you didn't. I'm blocked.
You see the
So you
advantages
have
of being
like
Nota.
successfully gotten under his skin, Nota, like 100%.
So,
Like, would you say that it was your intention, Vele, to get under his
no.
skin?
I would not say that.
Because clearly he's
I'll
bothered
explain.
by you.
No, he's bothered because he's a powerful man who's got serious allegations against him. And the only thing that I've done
It's this
is,
one, eh?
yeah.
Deep in the city.
So, can you see
Temba,
Black Coffee
Temba,
Temba?
yeah.
Right there.
It's here.
Look at the comments there.
Kimang Temba Booty.
Look at that. Go scroll up a bit. No, just scroll up. There we go. Kimang Temba Buti. Go scroll up more. Look at the comments.
Krodman, my offer. This one is just promoting himself.
Okay, but you can say
Why
Kimang
is that
Temba Buti.
different? No apologies. Put him up. Crazy. Been working with Temba overseas pre-lockdown. Feminists are tiresome. Don't go if you're so against it. Okay, this one is also...
So already the
Women
comments.
going to this event are not safe. This alleged sex offender, Temba Okurikemang Usibiti. We am Temba Koto.
Look at that.
Hectic dog.
This is not me. I don't even have Twitter.
It's like maybe you have a voice. Your voice is loud
It's
enough.
not my voice.
Yeah.
This is the rape culture. Gender-based violence within our industry is so rife. It's everywhere. I am just speaking about it in general. And these are just the prominent people who've got allegations against them that are being raised. And I'm speaking about the people who've got allegations, whether it be Greg Maloka, whether it be Euphonic and Fresh, whether it be Black Coffee himself, you know what I mean? And all I'm saying is that all of us as men, we need to submit ourselves to an inquiry. All of us, myself included. You know what I mean? All of us need to submit ourselves and say, how have we played a role in in what that comment, what is that comment? Women at this event are not safe. How have we played a role in making women feel unsafe in this industry? How have we played a role in making perpetrators of acts of violence, sexual abuse, etc., get away with it without facing any consequences? How have we allowed this level of mistrust, to just go unabated, and unanswered for? So let's go back to the cease and desist letter. You know what I mean? Your posts. So basically, insofar as 14, I'm reading it again because we just discussed it. Insofar as your posts annexed here to annexes A and E are concerned, it is clear that you are labeling our client a rape apologist. I'm not labeling a rape apologist. He is a rape apologist.
He is a rape apologist.
That's an unequivocal fact. We know that. We're seeing that right now. People are saying, how can you put this guy on your lineup after, he's been accused of rape, and the way in which he responded was to fraudulently fabricate a WhatsApp and and then post it on his timeline and expose
the victim
someone's
saying
number.
She was lying and stuff. That was made up stuff. You could see that.
But either way, that is like a crime in itself. That is a heinous crime.
That's fraud.
You are discrediting, you are defaming this woman. You are making her seem like she's a liar. That's defamation of character, and the worst possible, criminal defamation of character. That is criminal defamation of character.
Isn't it also some sort of defeating the ends of justice?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but you know what I mean? You guys can tell. You guys are Gen Z. You guys were born after 97, so you guys can tell. You see, I'm saying that because in 97, I was already in school. So you were born after I had already started school. So that's your generation. Naturally, these allegations are denied by a client. How can you deny these allegations under the strongest possible terms when still on your timeline? What's the date today? It's the 3rd of April.
The 4th.
It's the 3rd of April.
Then why is
4th
your...
is tomorrow.
No, it's the 4th month. Though.
Oh,
we're not in March anymore. We're in April now. I understand. Yeah, you're reading it wrong.
That confuses me sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes the dates are written in American style. So they put the month first, and then the date, and then the year. And then the day, and then the year. Okay, so 15, your posts and the references to be drawn therefrom seek to label our client as an abuser, sexual predator, and criminal. These statements and inferences are, as you are well aware, I'm not aware. Why would you put words in my mouth? Why would you make me aware of things I'm not aware of? I'm telling you in my post what I am aware of.
Sure.
Don't tell me I'm aware of something simply untrue and are not in the interests of the public. These are in the interests of the public, and they are not untrue. The things I've posted about, we saw the video of him slapping Siamo. We know he's an abuser. He's an abusive person.
Sure.
We saw that. Siamo didn't even lift a finger after that.
What did Tiamo say though?
Doesn't matter what he said. Why does he deserve to be slapped?
Didn't they say that Tiamo...
Why does he deserve to be slapped?
Stage time or something like that?
Whatever the case may have been.
It doesn't
warrant that treatment. And the fact is that this is the same person that says, I abuse clients. You've never seen a video of me doing that to someone's manager.
Okay. In what way? What did he mean by you abuse?
I don't know what he meant. But he said, I abuse people. He did say that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In what way can someone who has done something like that say that about me and feel like he does not need to account for his own actions and deny under the strongest possible terms that he could be seen as a rape apologist for adding timbre to his lineup? Does he think because it's timbre and not euphonic that
People
we are
won't see.
fooled?
Yeah. I think they're stupid.
You know what I mean? So that's another thing. So you know what I mean? He says are not in the interest of the public. They're in the interest of the public because these are broadcast in the media. These are public figures. You are a public figure. You are a brand. You are saying the brand Black Coffee. It's in the public interest to know if this brand that we celebrate so highly is actually what it claims and says it is. You know, he is an abuser. We are seeing that. You know what I mean? Him being a sexual predator, that's not something I alleged. I never said that. I never said he's a sexual predator, but here they're deciding that, you know what I mean? He's a criminal. I never said he's a criminal. You know what I mean? That's for the court to judge that. What I'm saying is that on this character assessment of this person, right? And according to this cease and desist that he sent to me, He is trying to present himself as some sort of saint, and he ain't.
Yeah.
He's a saint minus the S. Ain't.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Accordingly, there is no justification for the irreparable harm caused by your conduct to our client's dignity, status, reputation, and good name. He has no dignity to begin with. He's an undignified human being. It is not dignity what we saw in that video where he slapped Siam. That's not dignity. It is not dignity the way in which he conducted himself in the allegations where he has gone to his wife's birthday and demanded that, she inform him when she wants to have a party at the house where she lives. That's not a dignified human being. That's not a dignified human being. You understand what I'm saying? There's no dignity in that. So what dignity or undue dignity was given to him that I removed? Nothing. Because these are things that are reported in the media that I'm commenting on. So why doesn't he call them and send them a cease and desist? What about his status? His status is an internationally renowned DJ. I haven't said he's not an internationally renowned DJ. His status is an internationally renowned DJ. His status is that he's being protected. He's being protected because he's famous. He's an internationally renowned DJ. Anyone who says anything against him, his entire fan base will be weaponized against them, and they will be called names and whatever. They'll be abused and whatever. You know what I mean? His reputation precedes him. His reputation precedes him. You know what I mean? His reputation precedes him. Yes, he's a great DJ, but also he's abusive. We've seen it. There's evidence of it. He's apologized for it. But has he changed his behavior? Well, the protection order suggests that maybe he hasn't. You know what I mean? Maybe he wasn't as remorseful.
And good name.
It's not good. His name is not good.
What if he was just tired of you talking bad about him?
He's like, I'm going to put a stop to this,
But why doesn't he just clear his name then? I'm not talking bad about him. I am talking about what is reported about a very prominent public figure. You understand what I'm saying? People talk bad about me. People report negative things about me. Am I going out there suing each and every Tom, Dick, and Harry that says something negative about me?
Maybe the loudest one, because you happen to be the loudest one out of everyone.
Am I the loudest?
Your judgment influences people's thinking too.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not Daily Sun, dog.
Yeah.
You think I'm more influential than Daily Sun?
No.
I'm asking, do you think so?
I mean, like...
Let's see. He says that your conduct is continually reckless and harmful, particularly when one considers the fact that you have a substantial social media following that is in excess of 20,100 followers on Instagram, and that your followers are undoubtedly look to you for your opinion. We note that your Twitter account is currently suspended. It's not currently suspended.
And we can only assume it is due to the fact that you have clearly
contravened the policies of the platform. Given the fact that you have now taken to Instagram to defame our client, it is evident that you intend to continue with your unlawful and wrongful. What is unlawful?
So it's basically saying
are you a judge?
Right
are you a judge? Listen, are you a judge? Exactly. So now they're even making snide remarks about whatever. So obviously when he instructed them, he's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Because whoever this is, this lawyer, it doesn't know me. There's no way this junior attorney knows me. You know what I mean? There's no way. It must be. You know what they do when you send it? They say, "Yo, get the most junior attorney to write something," and it's a scare tactic. You understand? It's a scare tactic. And you must remember that when I'm reading this for the first time, I've just come out of being wrongfully arrested, unlawfully arrested. Assaulted. I come out of this jail cell and this is what I'm met with. Another attack. An attack on my person, an attack on my character, an attack on my good name, an attack on my ethics, which I stand by. This is an unethical human being calling me someone who would defame him. No. What threatens him is my good name. What threatens him is my good reputation. It's not about my influence. It's because I'm not the one who's accused of the things that he's accused of. I'm not the one who has friends or has acquaintances or parties with or associates with people who have got such strong allegations against them. I don't. I disassociate myself from such people. You know what I mean? You won't find me being buddy-buddy with somebody after they've had such serious and strong allegations like that. You know what I mean? I mean, someone like Nkhaotic, I don't associate with him. I don't work with him in any way, shape, or form. Why? Because let's look at, just Google Nkhaotic Bonang there.
I mean, Nkhaotic has a long history of just like controversial stuff.
But just say Nkhaotic Bonang.
By the images, ne?
Just go see.
I think Google's better than Yahoo.
Nice.
Why did you go to Yahoo?
I don't know.
It's a setting
it's
thing.
been on this thing.
Okay, there's a certain image. Go down.
You want the one where she's looking really... Yeah.
Oh, I just bring that.
Which one?
There.
This one?
There.
Yeah.
Superimpose that. Look at that. After seeing this, how can I associate with this man?
Yeah, no.
How can I associate with this man after seeing this?
That Tambonang is just a queen, bro. You know?
You understand what I'm saying? I can't, but black coffee can. Do you understand? That's the type of character of this a person. You know what I mean? These are the type of people that, are coming for me. And the reason why they are coming for me is because I've got a good name. There's no other way to come for me. They're trying to assassinate my character. That is all that I see in this. You know what I mean? And it is very concerning. It is very disturbing because now people have enacted violence against me. Police have enacted violence against me. I saw a police vehicle just now when I was at the filling station. I was terrified. I'm traumatized. I'm petrified. But at the same time, the cause that I'm behind is bigger than me. It's not about me. They can brutalize me. They can beat me up. They can do whatever. You know what I mean? My parents are concerned about that. My father does not want that to happen to me. But what I'm fighting for is a safer space for the women within this industry, to give them a seat at the table, to ensure that this abuse does not continue anymore. It's not about me. You know what I mean? So bring it on to them. You know what I mean? Bring it on to them. But I will not allow my sisters to be brutalized. I will not allow my sisters to be harassed. I will not allow my sisters to be silenced after being victims of rape and all these other heinous crimes, Schedule 6 crimes. Rape is a Schedule 6 crime. No bail for that crime. You know what I mean? It's just like premeditated murder. So I will not allow that and say nothing and be silent about things that are actually, concerning and worrisome and wrong. You know what I mean? So your conduct has caused severe damage to our client's name, brand, and reputation, which damage is currently being quantified. In this regard, you are advised that we hold instructions to hold you accountable and liable for all the damage/harm sustained by our client. So your client has not harmed me, has not damaged me, my brand, when they went on the old Mutual M Studios podcast with Nasty C and Scoop Magatini and calling me abusive.
And he brought you
with no
up there. He was like this guy that calls himself the authority.
He brought me up. Nobody mentioned me. Nobody mentioned me. He had no reason to bring up my name or say anything about me. And how many followers does he have? A substantial number more than mine. So if he brings me up and he says those disparaging comments about me, I find that potentially injurious. I find that potentially harmful. I find that threatening. And again, I just come out of a jail cell after being abused and brutalized by the police officers. And then I read this. So the first feelings that come to mind is that who could be responsible for this?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I know it all makes sense.
And to me, well, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. But to you, what do you guys think?
I mean, when you telling me the story, it's like, it's clear to see. You know that you haven't done anything wrong in terms of breaking the law. Or would you say that you were speeding or reckless driving, as the cops would say?